All right. So I'm looking at the Jamaica Gleaners post that says Clark says payroll system working overtime to pay public sector by month end. Now it's it's extremely frustrating, to see headlines like these because these politicians constantly make donuts around issues that they can solve quickly. And it's so frustrating. It's frustrating to those who are working to ensure that, especially like teachers and police officers and nurses and other public sector employees, right? They work so hard and they're constantly clowned on by woke individuals. Oh, you're working a 9 to 5, oh, fuck you, you dumb shit, oh. And we might be, but we're making the best of what has been given to us or what has been offered. And all the while, I'm sure, still trying to find a way out, right? And people make it seem so easy, like it happens like this. You can, whatever. It takes work, it takes time, it takes a lot of dedication, I'm sure. And it's so frustrating to see these people work so hard, and then when it's time to give them what they're due, the little that they're due, because it's not even gonna last for a good while. As soon as you get this little bonus, something is gonna come up that you're gonna have to use some of it, or you're gonna have used all of it. The problems are going to present themselves. And this little bit that people are working so hard for and constantly being clowned on by the woke individuals, right? They work so hard and they're not even given the respect of receiving that which they have worked so hard for on time, so that they can take care of bills, because trust me, there are bills, and a chunk of people's salaries go towards bills. And everything is fucking taxed so high. And they're gonna raise the prices, I'm sure, of many items to come. Because what? They gotta keep their pockets fat. That's what politicians do. That's what every party, it doesn't matter who's in power or who is in charge of the country. It doesn't matter which party it is, JLP, NDM, if they ever got a chance, the PNP, it doesn't matter who is there. Oppression of the people is always going to be their first priority. And they show us this every time. And Jamaicans are so stupid that they think that politicians are there for the betterment of them. They don't care about us, man. They're just there to make their pockets fatter. Look at this nigga. If you look at this, if you look at all of them, they get fatter every time they're put in some positions. You know why? Because they're eating good. All of that money that the hardworking people are supposed to get goes to them, and they hold on to it, and they find all of these excuses and loopholes to take it back from the people who have worked so hard for it. They don't even do the work that they're reporting on. They're just the face. They're just the fucking face of these ministries that are they're like shell companies. They don't do anything substantial for the country. They're just there for their selfish deeds. They're just there to do what they want, to make themselves better and well off. The other day, teachers had a sit-in, and you know what people were saying? Well, I hope when the the students don't pass their CSEC exams, I hope they blame the teachers. 2 days. Teachers who are constantly disrespected. They sat in for about 2 days because they refused to agree to the deal that the ministry was giving, because it was crap. It was stupid. And you know what is even more infuriating, especially to me? That dude who's seen shaking hands, who is apparently a representative of the JTA. He's such a politician, man. And he's on it there to push himself, I'm sure, to other positions of power. He speaks like a politician. He walks like a politician. He does everything that a politician does. They're traitors. That's what they are. They're just there to empower themselves. They don't care about the hard-working people who are facing disrespect from children every day, from parents every day. No one knows how draining it is to be a teacher than a teacher. And it's one of the most ungrateful professions, I was told this week. It's one of the most ungrateful professions, and I agree. They work so hard. There's no meaningful job or career path or anything that does not have to be taught in some way. And even if you're taught to do the wrong, or you learn to do the wrong, someone instructed you. Society is built on the backs of teachers, and they are so important, and no one seems to care. They don't get the respect they deserve because there are students who fight teachers, who blatantly disrespect teachers, who are disobedient, who do not do the simple work that they're asked to do. I believe that a child goes to school, and when they go, if they manage to do 3 things, they should be fine. I'm sure there are stressful situations at school. It's a social environment, and there are different people who come from different backgrounds, different homes, who are brought up differently. I appreciate that. But the 3 things that I think that if a student does, they will be fine, is behave themselves, respect those in authority, and do their work. It's simple. It's that simple. Everything else is a diversion from what they're there to do. If students did these 3 things, the job of a teacher would be so simple: to facilitate learning, which is their primary task. And their task, again, with so many other things, so many other responsibilities. They're a second parent. They're a counselor. In some cases, they're a friend. There's so many other things that they have to do. And they ask for a little respect, and they get nothing. They get nothing but more disrespect and probably more work. And is that fair to the people who are working to build a functioning society, to build and mold the leaders of tomorrow? Is that fair to treat them that way? To just give them a little bit more so that they can feel compensated for all this mental drain that they go through daily? Is that unfair to ask, minister? All you guys do is sit in your offices under a condition and receive information, right? That was prepared by somebody else who's working so hard. You guys aren't even doing the work. And even in the recent, I think SSL or whatever the hell it is, where Usain Bolt was, he lost a lot of money. That the institution responsible, you guys knew about this from I think it said 2019, that there were problems in this place and y'all did nothing because, you don't have to. Someone else is there to do it. So let's turn our attention to police officers, right? So if you are if you're stupid enough to disrespect police officers the same way you disrespect teachers, which I'm sure you're going to do you expect there to be a shift for the better criminal activities? Do you think police officers are going to be motivated to work hard and put their lives on the line for a country and a ministry that does not want to give them the respect they deserve by paying them what they deserve? Politicians raise their salary every year, I'm sure. They get more for doing nothing, right? And the people who are actually doing the work don't get the respect that they deserve. They don't get the pay they deserve so that they can be motivated to continue to do the hard work. You see the problem here, Minister? It is absolutely absurd to me how they continue to get away with these things. Even when the people speak out and demonstrate or show any form of defiance, I'm sure they see it as, to the system that these politicians enforce so much. They just don't care, and they stand firm, and they just reel out whatever deal they have they've penned initially. They don't care. They're not going to change much. And even if they change it, there's no guarantee that they're going to stay true to their word, unless there's someone who's going to always be on their backs. And we know how people are. They don't really care about much if it's not directly affecting them. I'm sure there are good people who work in these offices of these ministries. I'm sure there are people who have a little bit of common sense and a little bit of respect for the people who are working so hard to keep this country together and to try to create future leaders and to keep the country safe. I'm sure that they're people who respect the nurses and doctors who are trying to save lives with the little that they're given. I'm sure there are people with a little bit of common sense working in these ministries, but they don't have a voice, or they're afraid to use it. And I believe that's unfair. People, these politicians in particular, need to take a step away from that golden stool that they sit on and really try to understand what people go through, because they're so detached from reality, so detached. And they do so many pointless things so many times, and they get away with it. They spend so much money on stupid things. A couple $1 million for a sign that I guess lights up. What's the point? What was the point of that, other than to waste money and show the people that you're wasting the money? There's so many other things that could have been put into. So many other things. So many other industries could have been improved with that money. But no, a sign is more important. And although that's probably a while ago, it just shows you how much they're able to get away with. They're quickly forgiven for these atrocious decisions that they make. And they get away with it, man. They get away with it. It's so unfair. So unfair, man. It's imperative that people start to realize that politicians don't mean us any good. A majority of them, maybe a few do, but they hardly do anything or ever do anything. If there's a good politician, I would like someone to point me in their direction. Because the people would need some representation, man, to show exactly what's happening. The place is falling apart, dude. And they're doing nothing to fix it. They think that a special, whatever they call it, a ZOSO or a SOZO or whatever, a zone of special operations or whatever. They think that implementing these are gonna magically stop crime. That's not how it works, dude. You announce this shit to the whole country. So if there were criminals in these areas, you just told them that, hey, dude, we're coming your way. You better skedaddle. They don't stay, man. What are you doing? Isn't that like common sense? Why are you announcing your operations? Why not just do it and then announce it? If you suspect that there are weapons in an area, or there are criminals in an area, wanted men or whatever, why are you telling them that you're coming their way? Why are you announcing? Why are you doing it backwards? That's so stupid. It's ridiculous. We have some incompetent people in our government that are ruining our country, and they're only there to fatten their own pockets and make sure that they're good. They don't care about the little man who needs that little bit more to survive, man, to get to the other day so that they can have food for that day. They're so detached. They're detached from society. They're detached from reality. They don't understand what the normal person goes through anymore. They're way out of here, man. When will people realize that elections don't mean anything but selecting your new oppressor? That's all it is. So if you want to go out and vote, exercise your right to vote as a Jamaican citizen. And do you think that it means anything, dude? You're crazy. You're insane, man. It makes no difference. I'll say it once more. When you vote, you are simply choosing your next oppressor. That's all we're doing. Our votes don't matter. They don't count. It doesn't matter who's in charge of this country. Their duty is to oppress us. That's all they do. That's all they have been doing for years. Many years. But as soon as election time comes around, you have a few dumbos who are just so die-hearted, they call it. Oh, I'm a die-hearted laborite. Oh, a die-hearted socialite. Fucking idiots, man. That's what you are. They don't care about you. They don't care about how you survive after the elections. They're just there to trick you and lie to you one more time and possibly give you some free food and a little cash. And although it's illegal, to give people money for their votes, they do it all the time, man. They do it all the time. But people think their votes matter, so they're gonna ensure that they stay die-hearted. But To each his own. Choose your battles wisely. The most we can do as human beings is be kind to other human beings. And that is what I'll leave you all with. Peace.